What's up, Benfica Nation? How's everybody doing tonight? What is up? Woo! Anybody else still recovering from this one? Anyone else have a near heart attack today? Let me tell you, what a performance, okay? I don't care about, the aesthetics of it. What a performance. Listen, if you're listening to the podcast on the podcast feed and not watching the video right now, you're starting to hear that music we haven't heard in a while. If you listen closely, here it goes. Yeah, that's the UEFA Champions League anthem, baby, because Benfica are back in the Champions League proper. What an accomplishment in this round. Listen, I've seen the different reactions across the Benfica sphere, okay? Benfica Nation is, for the most part, very, very ecstatic. Some are still really down. Some didn't think we had the ball enough. Some thought we played too passive. Or some thought we should act like we've been there before, okay? Act like you've been there before and the person that said this is, living in North America. That's a very North American attitude. That don't work in Latin football countries, of which Benfica, Portugal is one. In our culture, there's no acting like you've been there before. Every goal, every play, every tackle needs to be approached with passion, with heart, with fire. If you've ever watched a highly competitive futsal match, whether it's, a Benfica Sporting or a Portugal-Spain, Portugal-Brazil, every blocked shot is celebrated like a goal. No, you don't act like you've been there before. This is big. It's that emotion. It's that passion. It's that fire that you let out every time, you start to feel it. That's the fuel that fires the Latin player. Whether you're Latin European, whether you're Latin American, it doesn't matter. When you play in a country like Portugal, when you play for a club like Benfica, that's how it's supposed to be done on the pitch each and every time. How's everybody doing? If you haven't figured out by now, okay, well, you're probably living under a rock, because if you're watching my show, you definitely watch the game. If you're listening to my podcast, you definitely know Benfica pull off the result. Was it pretty? No. And if you watched my pregame show that I went live on before kickoff, okay, you heard me absolutely lose my mind. But you know what? JJ was a step ahead. And it comes time when you have to tip your hat to somebody. And JJ, to you got it right today, okay? And in the closing minutes of this match, the light bulb went off from my head. I was so angry about Adel Taarabt starting, but the light bulb went off in my head, and it all made sense. I had a moment of clarity, a come to Jorge Jesus moment, if you will. And I know not everybody that likes my show likes him, and I know not everybody that likes my show agrees with me on Adel Taarabt, okay? But it all made sense. JJ and his staff knew, the fitness levels of their players. They knew they were going to have to make all 5 substitutions. They knew that there was a higher than normal possibility of extra time tonight, okay? Just so you know, I finally come down. It is 10:34 p.m. here in Boston, in the East Coast of the United States, Eastern Time, which means in Portugal right now, it is 3:34 a.m. Okay. It is Tuesday night when I'm recording this. You're not going to get this till Wednesday because, well, I don't want to go head-to-head. The reason was I don't want to go head-to-head up against my good friends at Benfica After 90 or my good friends at Benfica Podcast. They're both going live at this time. This is their night. They always go live. I don't do the post-game thing the way they do too often. Okay, I did not want to go live at the same time as them. I don't want my audience or our audience. We share so many of the same listeners, so many of the same followers. and I don't want to divide it. And I'm recording now only because I won't be here Wednesday to record live on Wednesday. So I'm recording now to put it out to you live on Wednesday. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy hump day. Happy middle of the week. Benfica are in the Champions League, as I was saying. And Jorge Jesus got this one right, as I was saying. A better than usual possibility for extra time tonight, okay? Against a very informed opponent, okay? And we were one crossbar away from going to extra time, okay? And it all made sense to me. When João Mario had to come out, okay? One, because he was spent. Two, because he was booked. I said to myself, there it is. Had Adel Taarabt not started the match, Jorge Jesus might have been forced to put Adel Taarabt in at that point, where his defensive frailties would have even been more magnified. Okay? And listen, Adel had an Adel-type match. Okay? Taarabt was Taarabt. He nearly put us ahead with a Zidane-like run, beating 3-4 players, and then failing the pass that would have put Yaremchuk in. However, the ball still sprung around in that area there, and we nearly got a shot off. We just couldn't get that final delivery, that final poke onto someone's foot where they could get that half yard of space and get that window, that little peek at goal and maybe get it on net the way Rafa did in the first leg. It was just that little bit of space that it just went outside the reach of the goalkeeper. But that didn't happen tonight. But Adel nearly did the dirty work to put us ahead 1-0. And I was ready to eat crow. No question about it. I was ready to do a mea culpa. I never have a problem with that, especially when it's in the positive. But he had a rough night outside of a couple of plays like that. A lot of lost balls again. Forcing Weigl to just be everywhere. And Weigl had a monstrous game tonight. You know who else was monstrous? And I talked about this. Those of you that tuned in and watched my pregame show, those of you that listened to the previous podcasts, even in the first leg, I said the key matchup, Madueke versus Grimaldo. And to my pleasant surprise, Alejandro Grimaldo won that 1v1 battle tonight. The man was a giant. I mean, I think JJ had him watching Paolo Maldini videos since, all for a week. He found his inner defender tonight. He was great defending 1v1. He was great positionally. We gave them nothing on the flank tonight. What a performance by this entire team. What a team performance. That is the key word in this one. This second leg was all about the team. Everyone played well. Everyone did their part. Odie was huge. By the way, JJ, I think you watched my pregame show because I loved that you did not pull that back line up so far. They were retreated. They were right where I wanted them to play. And you see, they made it a lot harder. Yes, PSV got through 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 or 4. But for the most part, our back line kept PSV in front of them, which is so important when they got that kind of pace. And we don't. But boy, were we tested. Well, I said we were going to be tested, but I never could have imagined this. And I'm feeling the way I felt years ago now after the 0-0 in Turin against Juventus at the Juventus Arena in that semifinal of the Europa League. JJ talked about it in the presser. Let's cut. Okay, on the podcast, you're going to cut to JJ in the post-game press. Before we run down before we run down the match, listen to some of his post-game comments here. He's being asked a question by, I'm presuming, a Dutch reporter speaking pretty good Portuguese, using some of the Brazilian linguistics, but speaking clearly and speaking well, talking about how he's never lost. JJ has never lost to a Dutch team, and this was news to JJ. He was not aware that he's never lost to a Dutch team. He turns to Benfica's press guy and says, "We've never lost to a Dutch team." And the response was like, "Well, you haven't." And he was asked, what are the differences between the Dutch and the Portuguese teams and why he's had this success? And he doesn't even answer the question, to be honest, but he explains just how strong just how good of an opponent this just was that Benfica eliminated. A lot of Benfica Nation still does not have a grasp of how strong this PSV team is. They're going to go into the late stages of the Europa League. I don't doubt that for a minute. They're going to win the Dutch league this year, in my humble opinion. Unless something changes, they lose their form, or somebody leaves. That collection of players they have over there is going to win. But I'm going to tell you after we pause here, I'm going to tell you why Benfica held on to this one. Okay, we're going to take just a minute here so that you can, if you're listening on the podcast, you can hear JJ. If you're watching the video, take this moment to go subscribe to the channel on YouTube at Mr. Benfica. All right, go to www.mrbenfica.com. Check that out. Give it a hit and follow me on Twitter at Mike Agostinho. That's at MikeAGOSTINHO. And follow the show at Benfica Mr. on Twitter or on Instagram at Mr. Benfica. All right. If you're watching, it's only going to be a few seconds. If you're listening, here's JJ. Okay, so there's JJ basically saying in Portuguese what I just told you before that he had said. Okay, he explains how strong this team was, and he explains how Dutch football has three teams that are so strong individually, especially offensively. And to beat them, you have to be just as strong. And Benfica were strong tonight. Benfica were strong across the 180 minutes. And quite honestly, despite, like I said, I don't think we were better. 1 through 11, I don't think we had the better team. I think maybe they get the edge by one or two guys, but it doesn't matter. What matters is who delivers and who capitalizes on opportunities. And PSV did not capitalize on their opportunities in this 180 minutes in this tie. They certainly squandered too many opportunities in the first leg as well, but especially today, Zahavi putting it off of the crossbar. That was the saving grace. But still, people saying we're lucky, okay? We're lucky in that instance. However, to say Benfica were lucky to advance is incorrect, because that goal was not going to be enough to eliminate us. I know we were down to 10. That was not going to be enough to eliminate us. They would have still had to found another goal or gone through penalties. And why we advanced tonight and why this match ended 0-0 comes to the simple fact of, I'm going to answer this question for JJ. It's the slight difference in Portuguese and Dutch football. And is that the Portuguese, we are a little more willing to get dirty and a little more willing to play ugly. Okay. Now that I've seen as much of PSV as I have this early season, early going, okay? I've seen them against I've seen them against Ajax, I've seen them against Heracles, and I saw them against, I forget who they played this past weekend. But it doesn't matter if they play Ajax or they play the bottom team in the Eredivisie. No team in the Netherlands, in the Dutch football, is going to come at them and line up in low, deep-lying blocks the way we did. We play against this every single weekend. We go play Aroca. We go play, Passos Ferreira. And I'm not saying this to insult anybody. We go play Portimonense. We're going to face two deep-lying blocks. We are. It's a fact of the matter. We see this all the time. What I saw tonight from PSV, especially when we went down to 10, okay, key change that JJ did, okay? Well, let's go into the lineups first, and then I'll get to that point when we get it, because it happens so early. So I'll go into that point when we get to that point of the match. But here's the 11. Starting for PSV tonight, Joel Dromel, once again, is the goalkeeper. 4 in the back for their manager, Roger Schmidt, and he's playing 4-2-1-3. Very attack-minded. Very attack-minded system of play. Very attack-minded methodology, very attack-minded setup. Okay, 4 across the back. Philippe Mounier is the right back. Ramalho is the center back, along with Olivier Boscagli, and Philippe Max, the German, is the left back. The double pivot, not a double holding mid. A Portuguese person looks at this and calls it, if Benfica put this lineup out, I'd be reading on my tweet, on my Twitter timeline. I'd be reading from so many fans claiming that we're playing with a double holding mid. This is not a double holding mid. This is a double pivot. Okay, these two do not sit in front of the back four and just clear out all day. Okay, this is a double pivot. They're very dynamic. They move like this. They go wide. They go this way. Okay, this is not a double holding mid, but the double pivot is the captain Marco van Ginkel and Ibrahim Sangare. In the number 10 position, of course, is Mario Götze, who's a very, very good player still. He may not be a kid anymore, but he's still so talented. But he was for 4 years. It was pointed out on CBS tonight on Paramount Plus here in the United States by the English commentator. Mario Götze was a teammate of Julian Weigel's for 4 years at Borussia Dortmund. Okay, and Julian Weigl was in his ascent at that time. Probably, I'm going to guess Julian Weigl was in the second squad. Julian Weigl, I'm sure, played head to head, man marking even, or, one versus one situations against Mario Götze in training in those days. And I think it showed because it looked like Julian Weigl had Mario Götze figured out today. Again, I thought we should have. I'll get to ours. What I thought we should have done in a minute. But the rest of the PSV lineup on the attack, of course, Noni Madueke down the right, and today he was completely shut out of this match. And some say he's still in Grimaldo's back pocket right now. Aaron Sahavi's the striker, and Cody Gapko is the left-sided forward. All right, for Benfica, 3-4-3 once again. I like it. Some of you don't. I think this is the way we play best. I think this is the way we play safest. This is the way we concede less. People don't like it because it's not offensive enough. It's offensive plenty when we have the ball. When we don't, it's much more secure defensively. We saw that tonight. Okay. Granted, we did switch to a back four, but that, of course, is because we went down to 10 men. But Odie gets the call and goal again, and there, like I've said now 5 times, there's no more question as to who the goalkeeper is. This guy is the goalkeeper. This guy is a big reason. That double save in stoppage time, or just on the cusp of stoppage time, is the reason we're playing in the group stage next month. He starts in goal. Lucas Verissimo, Nicolas Otamendi, and Moratu in the back. This is our 3. I've said that. Moratu is in there, and it's awesome. Absolutely fantastic. What an ascent for a player who not that long ago was on our B team playing in the Portuguese second division. Fast forward 3 months, 4 months at the most, and he's going to the Champions League. He's starting on a Champions League side. And he was fantastic once again. I was worried about that left side. We had it closed down, yo. We had it closed down between Moratu, Weigl, and Grimaldo. Nothing came through there tonight. They got it figured out. All right, Alex Grimaldo, as we've said already, one of the best ones on the pitch tonight. One of the best players on the pitch tonight for Benfica and for either team at left wing back. Gilberto gets the start at right wing back. Didn't surprise me. Some of you thought that Andre Almeida was going to play not with the 3-man back line. Andre Almeida is not going to start as a right wing back in a match like this. Lacking fitness, lacking routine, lacking repetition. He's not going to be expected to do the whole right side of the pitch like Gilberto was going to have to be asked to. So that was the back 5, the 3-5, the flex there. Those were the ones that played in those defensive roles. Then you got Julian Weigl and Adel Taarabt in midfield, okay? I had this on the pregame show. You saw me go absolutely nuts, losing my mind at the notion of Adel Taarabt playing from the start in a match where we don't need a goal, okay? And some of you already are cringing. I know you're cringing when I say we didn't need a goal. What was the final result? It was 0-0. We advanced. Okay, we have to be realistic and understand that this is a possibility and this is one way to advance, and we have to explore all options and all opportunities to advance in a tie like this. And as the match went on, it became more and more achievable, and it became more and more probable even that this was going to go 0-0. Okay. So in front of Adel and Weigl, we had João Mario and Rafa. João Mario more to the right, Rafa more to the left, playing behind the striker, Roman Yaremchuk. I said that I thought that Gonçalo should have started. I still kind of hold that down, but Gonçalo was key in the closing minutes in providing pressure, in sinking in, cutting off the passing lanes out of the back, not allowing that dangerous vertical pass that PSV's backline is so capable of. Yaremchuk, it was just a little bit, unfortunate today. It's a tough ask to play alone in the front in a match like this, especially in a game where your team's not going to see much of the ball. Okay. And of course, circumstances within the game made that even more of a difficulty. That is to get the ball, to keep the ball. It became even more of a difficulty. And so those were the 22 that start the match for the two sides. And early on, it is pretty cagey. Both teams still kind of feeling each other out. Lucas Verissimo goes into the referee's book very, very early. And let's see here. The referee tonight was, and his name is not here for some reason, FOTMob not listing the referee tonight. But this was in front of a crowd of 21,855. Verissimo goes into the referee's book in the 7th minute. That's way too early to get booked. And I saw my Twitter feed blow up when this happened. I saw it blow up. I was, thinking the same thing all of you were. I said, it's a long time to go with a yellow card, and it's going to be a long night, I thought. And normally, I was worried pregame. I was worried about Otamendi picking up the card and getting in the situation. Wasn't so worried about Lucas, but Lucas Verissimo, yellow card for a bad foul on Cody Gapko. I don't know. I don't think it's a yellow card. The commentator agreed with me at the time, at least in English. Possibly, if I don't know what TV's commentator or what, if you watch it on BTV, watch the replay after. If you watch it on 2DNA or you watch it in wherever you live, in whatever country you live in, whatever language the match was called in that country, maybe they thought differently. But I know the English commentator here in the United States on Paramount Plus said that he didn't feel that was a yellow card. I also agreed, but the referee put him in the book very, very early, and Benfica struggling to get going, and PSV attacking. We come to the 22nd minute, and they have their first real good opportunity. It is Philip Max, the German, with a left-footed shot from outside of the box, but saved by Odi. Odi knew he was going to work tonight. Odi was ready. He was locked in mentally. And like I said, the team did a good job of not making him do what he's less comfortable doing too many times. Again, he's improved in all of these areas. There's no question about it. But you still don't want to test him all match long, especially where the stakes are as high as they were tonight. Something like 37 million euros on the line tonight. That is the financial difference between going in to the Champions League group stage and not going in. And now I have to say, are we done selling? Please, no more selling. If we need to loan players because there isn't a place for them in this team, that I'm okay with. Do not sell any more young players, please. We don't need it, okay? I hear we may even go get some players. I've said it before. I heard Gustavo Gomez of Palmeiras is the name that I'm hearing, okay? We'll see. I'm sure in the next couple days, what's left of this month of August, okay, the week that remains, we're going to, now with Benfica knowing they're getting this influx of cash, you're going to start to hear the transfer mill move and turn. And I know we just picked up a Serbian player. I think his name was Radanovic, a winger or a forward. I don't know much about him. No one I talk to regularly in the Benfica sphere knows too much about him. But we'll see. I have a wait-and-see attitude about him. It could turn out to be a very good signing. It could be someone that we forget we even have. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. He's probably I'm going to hope that if we're selling Luka and we're bringing him in, he is a player that's going to fit this system better than Luka did, okay? So I'm assuming he's not the same exact player. It's not a like for like. I'm assuming he's someone who can play in a 5-man or a 4-man midfield in a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 and can cover those different spaces and knows what to do in those situations. That's my hope right now. Adel frustratedly gets a foul in the 24th, taking down Gapko. And then Philip Max gets in again, but this time he plays the through ball in actually to Ramalho, the center back, but Ramalho had gotten just a little bit ahead and he was offside. That was on the ensuing kickoff after the Adel Taarabt foul. Benfica with an opportunity in the 27th from Alex Grimaldo, of course, set up by Rafa. Rafa had a hard-working match. He didn't line up as deep as I thought he was going to, or as I had predicted or hoped even. He played further up the pitch, but it worked because that trio of Weigl, Grimaldo, and Moratu were able to protect that space. It didn't require Rafa to retreat so far. So he got his work in, and again, I love when we play in Europe because the hack Rafa, the Casa Rafa, hunting Rafa method of defending is not utilized. And I was getting to say earlier why I thought Benfica managed to hold on to this result and what the difference between Portuguese and Dutch teams are that JJ didn't really answer. I began to say the Dutch are not able to play against a deep lying, team that's not that interested in getting the ball and going forward all the time. It frustrates them, and it showed as the match went on. They got more and more frustrated and less creative and started trying to do the same predictable things over and over. That is how you stymie a speed-based team. Is you keep them in front of you and you neutralize them and you make them do something other than what they're highly successful at. Had Benfica pressed high and made space in behind like they did in the first leg, I don't think we come out of here tonight with the clean sheet. I don't think we advance. I'll be honest with you. If we had thrown too much caution to the wind and risked, even if we scored, I don't think we came out of this match, especially with 10 men, with a result to advance if we had not have had the mentality we had to not take many chances. Rafa has an opportunity of his own, but it's blocked in the 27th by Ramalho, but it goes for a corner now. The corner eventually gets defended, and it is played out. Götze wins a free kick, takes it quickly, and fast forward 30 seconds up the pitch. Götze crosses. It's him on it again for Cody Gapko. Cody Gapko has a header from the center of the box, but it is blocked by Nicolas Otamendi. Benfica tonight, so good at blocking shots. Jorge Jesus deserves credit and his staff, and whoever the performance analyst is in his staff. I know it used to be Johnny de Conceição when Bruno Lage was the manager, and Johnny de Conceição is an awesome dude. And he's actually, I'm not going to lie, he has actually responded to questions of mine in the past about performance analysis and about different trends, different things you see. He actually has taken the time to answer my Facebook inbox questions before. He is an awesome dude. He's at Wolves with Bruno Lage now. But the performance analyst, this is his main job, is to look at what PSV do, as well as his own team. But in preparation for a match like this, he's going to look at what PSV do. And the scouting report that was given to this team was on point because Benfica blocked so many shots today. They were in the spaces that PSV wanted to go into. Okay, PSV was getting frustrated. You could see it on the look of their supporters. As the match went on, they started thinking, we're not going to break this team down. And that's because they don't see this type of opponent in their league. They can be as proud as they want about playing progressive, attack-minded, free-flowing football. Even the bottom tier teams in the league play this method of free-flowing, attack-minded, progressive football, right? We play conservative football. And that's just semantics. Attaching words like progressive and conservative to sporting mentalities is just people honestly showing just how brainwashed people, I want to say brainwashed, and just how obsessed people are with in this current world we live in with political jargon. because they start attaching those labels to things that have nothing to do with politics, and they start making politics out of football. And you get people saying things like they'd rather lose playing brave and playing artistically than advance playing conservatively, which is insane, absolutely insane. The point of the game is to win in advance. All right, I'm off the soapbox now, but again, Benfica tonight, whenever called on to defend so many times, they were helping each other. The back line was getting help from the midfielders, getting help from the outside players. So many shots blocked tonight by Benfica. Okay, so we move now to the 31st minute, and that's when it happens. Nani Madueke finds Cody Gakpo, and Cody Gakpo is fouled. I know the forearm was extended, but come on. In a European match, in a standard of which we're used to a certain standard of refereeing in Europe. I expect a yellow card for this in Portugal. I don't expect it in Europe. We don't normally see that, but just a minute over a half hour, and Lucas Verissimo's night is over. And how many of us' heart just sank? Our stomach just came out at that moment. Our best defender is sent to the showers. And right away, I'm screaming at the television. I'm screaming to JJ. Andre Almeida for Taarabt. This is what I thought he was going to do. Admittedly, this is what I would have done. And because I've talked about Andre Almeida's role in this team going forward is going to be more of an emergency role as a right center back. Here is our emergency. That exact emergency happened. I thought we were going to get Andre Almeida to go slot into Verissimo's spot. Everything else stays the same in the back five, and we play with five in the back. JJ had other ideas. Credit to JJ, because it worked. It worked, and it was an easy transition. One of the advantages of playing a three-man back line is it's so easy to switch from 3 to 4. Anybody can play a four-man back line in their sleep. A flat back 4, 8-year-olds are learning how to play that now in seven-a-side football. I mean, literally, the flat back is so common now. The flat back 4, so common. These players have been playing it their whole life. It costs nothing. It takes nothing to swap and go from a 3-man to a 4. In the other direction, going from a 4 to a 3, it is a process. It is something that needs to be worked on. It is something that needs to be done through repetition. Movements and communication has to be perfect. You have to know your partners perfectly. But in the reverse direction, from 3 to 4, easy. And JJ decides, I don't know if he decided at that moment or if he decided at halftime. I think he might have tried to hold on as was for the first half, for the rest of the first half, because he doesn't make the switch. He goes to he takes Gilberto, slides him back to right back. Okay. He pulls Grimaldo back from a wing back into a traditional left back, and Otamendi and Morata play as a pair. And it worked. It also changed the look. I like this because I believe Roger Schmidt prepared to play against a three-man back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. That format is what he was prepared for. And I think when we went to 4, PSV needed a little bit of time to adjust. Okay. Yes, they pushed hard through the first half. And yes, Benfica were on the ropes almost the entire match. And, you could see the mentality was, let's just get to halftime where we can regroup. JJ decides to save the substitution, not make it. In the end, it's the right decision. And so far, through 7 matches, say what you will, and I haven't liked them all, but at the end of the day, he's gotten just about all of them right this season so far. This one he got right as well. You may not like the man. I know a lot of you are retweeting the video of him absolutely losing his mind, screaming at Gonçalo Ramos for not understanding something. But you know what? It's the old JJ. It's the JJ that was great. And I feel like he's regaining some of his old, you can call it nastiness. He's also wearing a suit again. Do you realize he's wearing a button-up and slacks? The tracksuit JJ is not here. The tracksuit JJ was unfocused. The tracksuit JJ was uninterested even. And no, we got our jacket and button down shirt JJ back. We got the slacks wearing JJ, sneakers with the slacks. This is the JJ that won the Copa Libertadores. This is the JJ that took us to 2 Europa League finals. I'm not saying he's at that level yet, but he's trending back in that direction. And he's getting his decisions right. So he gets it right here to switch to a back four. Lots of pressure here from PSV to close out the first half. Madueke with an opportunity, Gapco with an opportunity. But you know what? Every single time, Otamendi, Moratu, Gilberto, even Taarabt is getting in on the blocking action. Taarabt blocked a shot from Gotza that he just outstretched with everything he had, and he blocked it. Benfica blocking shots left and right, getting to halftime. They do what they need to do. They get to halftime. 0-0, all right, and we don't see any changes in the first half. JJ, I think him and João de Deus and their team at halftime probably analyzed the situation, said, let's see if we can go a few more minutes like this before we change the look on them, because once we change, the key is when you're the team that's not chasing the result, here's the advantage you have. Every change you make, the other team has to react to, because they're the ones that are chasing the result. You get to play, you get to play chess, and you get first move every time. Had this tie been, this round been tied, had it been a 2-2 first leg or a 1-1 first leg, it'd been a different story, okay? But because Benfica are ahead in the tie, JJ has an advantage in what moves he's going to make in the chess match, if you will. So he waits. He holds off. He's going to hold off on making that first one, and it ends up being smart, okay? And Benfica do adjust, and PSV still realizing they're playing against the back four. They changed some of their processes. They changed some of their their intentions. They changed some of their ball movements, some of their player movements without the ball. And then it comes 53rd minute. JJ moves the first piece on the chessboard. And this is a great substitution. Jan Vertonghen for Adel Taarabt, okay? Jan comes in, another center back, okay? Great change, okay? I wasn't sure what we were going to get from Jan, but JJ also knows that this game can go to 120. And I think that's why he held off and didn't make this change at halftime. He went another 10 minutes. Because you're bringing a guy in on injury, and you don't want to be Garrett Southgate and sub in a player and then sub him off again in extra time. Okay, you don't want that. You don't want to waste a substitution like that. So he held off. But finally, Adel's day is done. Adel Taarabt is done in the 53rd. Vertonghen comes in, clear tactical switch, and now the chess game begins. Because now he's taken one out of midfield, slid him into the back. What's he going to do with the other guys is the question now. And if you're PSV, you have to look and analyze the situation. And for a little while, PSV is going into a wall now because we've made a change, and that is good. That buys us minutes, and minutes are valuable in this game, in this situation, in this round. As the manager of the team that's ahead, you're going to trade possession for minutes all day now. Okay, because every move you make eats up a little more time, kills a little more momentum, right? So Benfica even get on the front foot a little bit here, and in the 57th, we get an opportunity. Yaremchuk has a right-footed shot from outside the box, but it's a little too high, and this was one that he really messed up. Yaremchuk was wrong on this play. Benfica broke out. Grimaldo had moved up. When Vertonghen came in, Grimaldo moved further up the pitch again, okay? And again, this was a change that Madueke didn't adjust well to, because now he's being defended by Jan Vertonghen, Super Jan, who is not the paciest player, but it has so much like a Giorgio Chiellini, has so much experience and is so intelligent. He knew exactly what he had to do and what he could not even try to do. He didn't try to do anything outside of his possibilities, outside of his realm. He knew they had a result to hold. He's been in this situation. He's tried and tested. So it allows some forward movement from Grimaldo. And in this one, Grimaldo's breaking down with Yaremchuk. It's 2-on-2. Yaremchuk, if he plays the ball into space and behind at the right time, Grimaldo is in and he's on a break. And really, quite honestly, Yaremchuk, if he sends that ball and continues his run, it's 2-0 against the goalkeeper. Okay, and it's probably an easy tap in that he's going to get back on the other end because they're going to attack 2-0. PSV is going to be chasing. Okay, once the goalkeeper commits, all Grimaldo has to do is slide it square into the path of Yaremchuk to tap into the empty goal. Yaremchuk decides. I don't know if the defender feigned his step right at the very last second into that passing lane where he needed to put the ball for Grimaldo. I don't know if the defender made a little bit of a juke, a little bit of a move into that direction that spurred Yaremchuk to go to his right rather than to pass it to his left, the defender's right. And as soon as he did that, the passing angle was gone, and the defender, I think it was Ramalho, just closed down the angle and ran side by side with him like this, okay, and just didn't allow the angle. And finally, Yaremchuk with a far inferior angle than he would have had otherwise puts it over the bar. And then JJ brings on Gonçalo Ramos on the hour mark. He brings on Gonçalo for Yaremchuk, and he brings on Andre Almeida for Gilberto. Good move. This is much more of a back four. I should say this is much more Andre Almeida's situation. The back four suits him much more than it suits Gilberto, and the back three suits Gilberto much more than Double A. So I think this was a smart situation. He got what he could. He got the minutes out of Gilberto, and he got to the point in the match, I think, where he was comfortable putting Andre Almeida in and knowing he could go 60 minutes. He could go the rest of the way. And I think that's why he held off until 60 to make this change. And it worked out. Andre Almeida, was fine, serviceable, not beaten too many times, and not really beaten at all, like dangerously. In the 61st, though, right after, is the one little slip up as Cody Gakpo gets in between Vertonghen and Otamendi, or in between Vertonghen and Moratu. He finds the space in there, slides it across the face of goal. Odie's beaten. He's got no chance. But the Israeli, Iran Zahavi, puts it off the bar. And when I saw that, my heart stopped for a second. And I breathed, and I told my little boy, I told my 5-year-old, this might be our day, son. This might be our day. And then I went on to explain to him how today Benfica could possibly win 0-0, could win 0-0. Very confusing for a 5-year-old to try to understand, but I explained to him that that bar was our best friend and that I thought Odie should do a pull-up onto it and give it a kiss because it saved Benfica there. Ramalho with an attempt still in the 61st minute. Right-footed shot from inside the box, saved by Odysseus. 62nd minute, Zaravi, the left-footed shot. This one was blocked by Otamendi. 62nd minute, Martin Van Ginkel shot from outside the box, blocked by Moratu. Again, Benfica just in the right spot defensively all match long. Why can't they defend like this all the time? If we don't concede goals and we defend like this, I know we don't even have to commit like this to defending in most matches. In the teams we play in our league, we don't have to commit this full on to defending. And really, we should not be allowing many goals. Because our players proved tonight that they can defend, and they proved they can defend in more than one system of play. This team is looking better and better every time we play. We're also getting deeper and deeper. And if we go and get 2 or 3 more signings of high quality, this team is going to be very, very tough to beat in Portugal. Okay, so moving on now. Boscagli sees a yellow card in the 63rd for a foul on Rafa. Weigl fouls Gakpo. He doesn't go in the book today. João Mario does go in the book, though, in the 65th. This was disappointing because this is a guy we needed. And it happened so many times, we're pressed back so far. And unless we can find Rafa who can dribble out of that trouble, and he did a few times, he broke out on the dribble, allowed us to get out, to play a little further up the pitch. Okay, I know I said I don't want to be too high, but you can't be in your box. You need to move up as a unit and establish that line of confrontation. Get yourself at least to that line of confrontation that you want to have. João Mario was huge also. When we could get the ball on his feet, for the most part, he was able to buy us time. He's also able to buy us rest. Okay, in a match like this, when you're pinned back, when you have a guy like a João Mario that can hold the ball and eat up seconds with his dribble, if he's dribbling and finding space, the other 10 or the other 9 in this situation are recovering, are catching their breath a little, are refocusing, reorganizing, communicating. And if he's able to find a pass to somebody who can find a pass to somebody else, those 30 seconds become 60 or become 90. And suddenly you're not so pinned back anymore. But this yellow card really dampers the outlook. Although João Mario's fitness, it's early in the season. We've played a lot of minutes. We played a lot of matches. And it looked like he was starting to run out of gas. He did a lot of defensive work today, too. The whole entire team really spent the majority of their tank on defensive work without the ball today. And that needs to be commended. Sometimes you think that's going out of the game. In the 69th, Roger Schmidt makes a triple substitution. On comes Armando Obispo for Olivier Boscagli. Center back for center back. Same switch he made in the first leg, interestingly enough. Yorbe Vertessen replaces Nani Madueke. And I don't know that I would make this substitution. I don't care how bad it's going for Madueke. When you got that kind of pace against Jan Vertonghen, I would keep him in there because it only takes one through ball to get him turned around, to get him in behind. But Roger Schmidt thinks otherwise, brings on Yorbe Vertessen. And, of course, the former Sporting player Bruma comes on. He replaces Marco van Ginkel. So this is an attacking midfielder or a wide forward for a pivot. So that changes the look on PSV. But Benfica adjusts. And Jorge Jesus, like I said, has the advantage. So Schmidt makes a move. Jorge Jesus already has the counter ready. Miete comes in the 73rd for Rafa. And in an interesting move, Everton Cebolinha comes in for João Mario. And I like this change. At the time, I didn't. I thought we were asking a lot of Everton to drop him into that deeper midfield role. But Everton had a really good quarter of an hour here on the pitch. He was huge. He was so crucial in this result. He became that guy that could take that ball out of space. And actually, here, the substitutions were put in this way. But I really think it was more a switch of Everton for Rafa and Miete for João Mario. That's really the changes that were made. It went in the book as I had read it first. But no, Miete is going to partner up next to Julian Weigl. Okay, he's going to drop into that midfield role. Rafa had run, a ton of kilometers. He had put in a hard day's work. And Everton, who has similar qualities, slightly different type of player, but can do the same job, just do it with a different skill set, comes in, and he was good today. He was very good at alleviating pressure, of taking the ball into space. He even had an opportunity to score for us. The shot just didn't come off his foot well. That's what's missing in his game right now, really. If he was shooting well, we'd be talking about how good Everton Cebolinha is right now. The way he was shooting at the end of last season, because he's getting those one-on-one isolations, okay, those one-on-one opportunities to dribble. He's getting it on the left, cutting on to his shooting right foot, and getting shots. They're just not coming off his foot well. He had an opportunity here not long after coming on, but it was saved by the goalkeeper. It was right down the middle. Had he put that in one of the corners, Benfica maybe go ahead here, and it is checkmate at that point. All right, Gonçalo Ramos working hard defensively, picks up a yellow card in the 81st minute for basically rugby tackling André Ramalho. But again, I like that. It allowed Benfica to set up and go ahead and take a set piece from inside the center circle and try to lob it into the box where we have all 9 field players. Go for it. And that's exactly what PSV did. Again, running out of ideas, not used to playing against a team that's setting up this way, setting up this deep and refusing to come out and to give you space to pass to. So what they do is what instinct becomes, the natural instinct to try to lob it over the top. Well, every time they did that, Benfica were ready. They'd either head it clear or it'd go over, and Odysseus would come out and get it. Odi was on his game 100% today. And 84th minute, it was another one, and it was Vertessen with a right-footed shot, and this was the double save that was fantastic from Odysseus. He makes it in the bottom right corner, and then he ends up getting up quickly and saving the rebound, which was both of them were taken by Vertessen. Odie, huge in this match. I mean, he earned his spot. Get that 99 off his back and slap the number 1 on him. I know Svilar is wearing the number 1 still, but he's the B team goalie. Have them switch numbers. Put the 99 on Svilar. Odie has earned that number 1 jersey now. Weigl, monstrous game for him. He earns a free kick in the defensive half in the 84th. He's fouled by Ramalho. Ramalho's shown the yellow card here, frustration foul. And you can see PSV coming undone. You got a free kick for Aaron Zahavi here in the 87th minute. He puts it right into the wall. And another substitution for PSV in the 88th. Double substitution. Jordan Teze comes on for Philip Max. And Ryan Thomas comes on for Philippe Moignet. It's all or nothing now for the Dutch side. They are sending everybody forward. And Ryan Thomas shown a yellow card in the 90th minute for dissent. Zahavi gets another opportunity here in the 90th +1, a free kick, dangerous position. But the wall does its job, times its jump perfectly, and Andre Almeida gets ahead to it and deflects it out for a corner. The corner is well defended, and it ends up being a handball called on Mario Götze. Odysseus Vlachodimos shown a yellow card for time wasting in the 90th +3. But that's all she wrote. 3 minutes later, after PSV basically out of gas and out of ideas, unable to break Benfica down. Referee blows his whistle 3 times for full time at 90 +5. Benfica advance to the Champions League group stage. Let's go to the goal point and let's take a look at how this match was rated. I purposely did not look at these ratings ahead of time. I really am interested to see how goal point rated this match. I know what I saw with my eyes, but they're using science and mathematics to come up with these ratings. So there you see the Benfica, and it says the headline is the bus and Odysseus bring 37 million euros to Benfica. That's right. Parking the bus. Nice plug there for the network. The parking. I have no problem with that because this is the Parking the Bus network. Benfica parking the bus very well today. Nothing wrong with that. That's how you advance sometimes in Europe. All right, so let's go through the ratings quickly as we are running out of time here tonight. The XG for PSG was 1.9, and they failed to convert any of their opportunities. Drommel, the goalkeeper, 5.4. Moine, 6.2. Ramalho, 6.3. Boscagli, 5.4. And Max, 5.7. Gakpo, 7.6. Sangare, 7.7. He was their best player today, according to this algorithm. Götze, 6.6. Van Ginkel, 5.5. And Madueke, the guy I had a target on. Well, he was well defended today and well stopped. And it was a 4.4. Disappointing performance for the young Englishman. But I'm sure we're going to hear his name again in world football. Zahavi, 5.8. For off the bench also. Obispo, 5.4. Vertessen, 5.4. Bruma, 4.9. He talked a big game before these 2 matches, and now he's got nothing to say, obviously. He thought he was going to come in here, be the hero, send Benfica home, and send some kind of anti-Benfiquista message back to his cronies at Alvalade. Didn't happen. Bye-bye, Bruma. Enjoy the Europa League. All right. So for Benfica, XG was 0.8. Vlachodimos, he was the man of the match on this algorithm. 7.8. Very, very good performance from Odie, of course. Lucas Veríssimo, 4.3. He only played about a half hour. Otamendi, 6.5. Morato, 6.2. Gribaldo, 6.8. Very good rating for him. João Mario, 4.7. Weigl, 5.8. Taarabt, 5.4. Gilberto, 4.6. Yaremchuk, 5.5. Rafa, 5.7. It is what it is. Take these ratings with a grain of salt, as always, of course. But Vertonghen comes in, does well, 5.7. Gonçalo Ramos, 4.3 in his time. And Andre Almeida with a good 5.3. 4.9 for Mete and 5.5 for Everton. So even though Benfica, in my opinion, got a little bit weaker with every substitution they made, they stayed ahead of the game by changing the look every time and forcing PSV to change. Let's take a look here. It's funny that they have Odie's heat map here. This is hilarious. 8 saves, though. 3 of them coming from inside the box, and 2 of them from very close. He had a 31% pass efficiency. It's hilarious, actually, that Goal Point is putting this for a goalkeeper. Look at that heat map. Of course, it's red hot in the 6-yard box. I spent 30 minutes earlier talking about how we have a goalkeeper who needs to stay between the posts, and we need to play a deeper back line as a result. Okay. He attempted 12 long passes and accurately hit 3. I don't care about any of that. He kept the ball out of the net. That is his job, and he did it well. Okay, we're going to move ahead here to the statistics now. All right, real quick. 21-4, the shots advantage to PSV. PSV, very inefficient, okay? 8 of them on goal, all 8 saved by Odie. Actions in the opponent's area, penalty area, 29-10 in favor of PSV. 6 corners to 2 in favor of PSV. Pass efficiency, PSV had all the efficiency, 83%. Benfica only 66%, really low for them. Vertical pass efficiency, 66% for PSV. Benfica, a woeful 43, but that's kind of misconstrued because a lot of those quote unquote vertical passes were clearances to nobody. Remember, Benfica playing for an hour down a man. So all of these statistics are of no interest to Benfica. Remember, they're winning at the start of the match. Okay. Benfica committed 12 fouls, PSV 14. I had skipped over the defensive actions in the opponent's midfield. This is almost even, 13-11, an advantage to PSV, but only a slight advantage. It's a very high work rate from Benfica to be able to get that many defensive actions in the opponent's midfield. Of course, possession there. And this sums up what I think of possession and what it's worth, because PSV in their 71% possession, I think they might still have the ball all these hours later. Guess where they're going? They're going to the Europa League, and us in our 29% possession, we're going to the Champions League. And my friends, what a match. What a performance. What a gut-wrenching performance. They gutted it out. And these are the matches you remember. And I put on Twitter how I fell in love with this kit, this alternate, random combo kit they put together today. It all added to the luster, all added to the magic of this matchup. Okay, the fact that Benfica came out white jerseys, white shorts, and red socks. I loved it. Had the numbers been red, it would have been perfect. But of course, the numbers are black. But that is what it is. I loved it. It's just one of those things. We're always going to remember the time Benfica played white, red, and with 10 men for an hour, held on and eliminated the Dutch side. That's going to do it, my friends. Thank you for joining me. In a couple hours, I'm waking up. I'm getting in the car, and I am driving about 10 to 12 hours to Virginia Beach. I cannot wait. All right, I'll be back this weekend. I'll be back Sunday with more content, okay? We'll review Benfica's upcoming match this week in the Liga NOS. All right, Benfica playing Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States, which is 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. in Portugal, the time they've been playing this season. They're home against Tondela. We'll see you then. Okay, we'll see you Sunday. Thank you for joining me. This has been Mr. Benfica, episode 123. I am the Mr. Mike Agustinu. Check out www.mrbenfica.com. Check out my Twitter at Mike Agustinu. Check out the show's Twitter at Benfica Mister. Check out the Instagram at Mr. Benfica. And I'll see you Sunday. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.